Wheels in. These are some SS ITPs for my my pedal tires. They're 8" wide, 5+3 offset, and they weigh about 14 pounds. These are the MSA beadlocks. They're crazy cheap right now for the Hondas and the 4x110 lug pattern. Really nice looking hardware, washers, pretty big bolts, a good number of bolts. This ring is kind of overkill, but whatever. It's gonna hold a little bit of mud in here. But you know, it's a fuckboy wheel, MSA, right? That's what that is. But my girlfriend's a giant queer, so she loves shit like that. So they're shiny, and they're kind of pretty, and they're less than $100 a wheel, so pretty happy with them. Only downside is they're 21 pounds. Really not that bad for a 16" beadlock, but I don't know. They're also 4+4 offset, which is too wide for my bikes, but if you're a little bitch and you can't balance a bike worth of shit, you need a wider wheel, so good for little bitches. So here's the 32" Aztecs on the 14x7 STI beadlocks, HD9s, and we all know that this tire and wheel setup weighs 57 pounds. Okay, that's a pretty light tire and wheel setup for a 32, if I say so myself. Now this is the STI Sand Drifter 32 by, I think it was 13 by 14, yeah, 32 by 13 by 14 paddle tire on the SS ITP wheels. And you can see this tire and wheel together, get it freaking balanced. Shift it around a little bit, get it on the paddle sitting right, there we go. Tire and wheel together weighs 44 pounds. So 44 pounds? It's actually a little shy of 44 pounds. 44 pounds. 57 pounds. So that is a pretty light setup. Now you're probably wondering, how tall is it? Well, we know that the Aztecs run just a tad short from 32 inches. So these are both Aztecs at 5 psi. This is at 6 because I just needed it. So let's stand them up next to each other. You can see that it's a good bit taller than the Aztec, probably 1.5 inches or so. So I'm not going to run them with this much air. Obviously, it's a 2-ply tire, so it balloons out very easily. Can-Am beadlocks dismounted from the Silverbacks. 11 or 13.7 pounds with the beadlock ring, so you got to figure some more weight for the bolts, but they're really not that heavy, and they're a very strong wheel, super reinforced beadlock ring. Hate to say, but I actually like these wheels a lot. They are like a 4+3 backspace, so they're a little too, they stick out a little bit too far for me with a 6" lift. Yep, and they're pretty much, I don't know, like 2 pounds lighter. That's pretty pathetic. But these tires are getting sold, and then these wheels are probably going to go on Chrissy Brown's side-by-side. The 4+3 offset is perfect for a Maverick Trail because they need a little more stance. Throw those on some 30 Zillas. Behold, the lightest 32 money can buy. 28.2 pounds. All right, let's set it next to the 32's Aztecs. Even with no air in them, they're not that much shorter, so I think they're going to be a true 32, probably a little taller than the Aztecs, and very light. Not a huge amount of tread, but it's very wide, 13" wide tire. Eventually I'm going to run these on some 12" wheels if they ever come off back order, or 11" wide wheels. Very cool. STI Sand Drifter. Should keep this thing up on top of the mud with a little bit of spray.
Potatoes were calling them white rhinos, which does mean wide, based on their wide set mouth. But Westerners thought they were saying white rhinos, and that's how they got their name. Now for their size, they run pretty fast, about 45 miles per hour. And they can gallop just like a horse does, getting all 4